ChatGPT can write answers, generate ideas, and can even help you code. But here is something surprising. It doesn't actually think like a human, right? So how does it work? In this video, I am going to explain Gen AI or generative AI from absolute basic in a way that even if you have zero technical knowledge, you will understand it clearly. Alright, so what is generative AI? First, let's understand that. So, Gen AI or generative AI equals to create new content. AI that creates new content. Okay, so this is what Gen AI means. That can create new content. It does not just analyze or predict, it creates new content every time. Okay, so let me break it down for you. Generative AI means to generate, which means to create something new. And AI means artificial intelligence, that means machine that can perform tasks that normally require human intelligence. Alright, so generative AI or Gen AI meaning is AI that can create new things. For example, what all new things it can create? First, it can write text for us. Okay. Second, what it can do? It can create new images for you. Create new images. What else it can do? It can write code, right? And the fourth thing, it can even create videos, new videos. It can create videos for us, right? This is all that Gen AI can do, right? For example, one of the Gen AI tool that we use nowadays is ChatGPT. Now, what does ChatGPT do? If you ask ChatGPT a question, it writes completely new answer, right? It is not copying from one place, it is generating a response every time you give it a prompt, correct? So remember this, generative AI does not just analyze, it actually creates new content based on the prompt you give it. Okay, so let's understand it in some detail. So we will understand and we will do compare and contrast between traditional AI and generative AI. Now we can create two columns, generative AI, and then we can put this traditional AI. Alright. So any idea that what is traditional AI? So traditional AI is used to analyze and make decisions. Okay, it is used to analyze and make decisions. Alright. And what does Gen AI do? It does not just analyze, it creates something new. So it creates something new. Alright. So for examples, what all traditional AI can do. So the examples are, first if I give you example, spam email detection. Okay, spam email detection. It can predict whether this email is spam or non-spam. Second, fraud detection it can do. That these are something that you can easily create in Python. Okay. Third, Netflix recommendation. Based on the history of your watch history, it can recommend you new movies. Okay, so Netflix recommendation it can do. And if we take example of generative AI, so generative AI has some agentic tools which is ChatGPT. Right now in trend is Claude. From Google we have Gemini, right? These are all it is. So think of this like, if I give you a analogy, then traditional AI is a judge. It decides whether an email is spam or non-spam. Generative AI is like an artist, it creates new things for you. Okay, so now we will understand how basically generative AI works. All right, so let me create something. For example, so user input, then we have some model. Okay, we have some model. What that model do? That model generates new output for us. Now what does this mean? Okay, what does this mean? For example, you give some input. Okay, this is called as prompt. So whatever prompt you give to the model, right? For example, if we take an example of giving prompt, for example, you give prompt that explain AI in simple terms. That is the prompt you give to the model. That is the user input that you have given. Okay, you have given an input. Now the AI model, whatever AI model you are using, it process this input. So whatever input you have given, that will be processed by the model. Okay, once it is processed, it gives an output, that is a response. Then it will give you the response of what you have given to it. Okay, so what is basically happening inside the model, that we need to understand. So model, this model that you see that process the data, that process your prompt, that is trained on huge data. It is trained on huge data. These models are trained on massive amount of data from internet. It is trained on books, articles, website. All of this data is used during the training. Okay, once the model is trained, then it can give the output based on the training we have given to it. Okay, but here is the most important thing. The AI does not understand meaning like humans. It does not have real knowledge at all. It predicts the next word. Okay, it predicts the next word. Let me show you with simple example. For example, I say example, if I give you, I say that I love eating. I love eating. Now this is an incomplete sentence, right? Right? So you must think what she loves eating. Pizza, pasta, burger, what? Right? That is exactly what AI does. It looks at the pattern and predicts the most likely next word. So instead of thinking, it is just predicting. Okay? That is why sometimes AI gives very good answers and sometimes it makes mistakes. Okay? Now, what we will understand? Something known as LLM. Large language model. Okay? LLM stands for large language model. It is the technology behind the tool like ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini. Okay, so now let me break it down for you. L, that means large. What does that mean? Trained on massive data. Trained on massive data. The second L, which means language. Right? Now, what does this mean? Works with human language. It can work with human language. And then we have M finally, which is model. Now, what does that mean? It is a mathematical system. Mathematical system. So you can think of it as a very large brain that has learned patterns from the text. The tools are ChatGPT, Gemini, and the Claude. Okay. Now, the very important thing that comes into the picture is what? Which is giving the prompts. Prompt engineering, which is whatever input you have given, your input will be equals to your output. So in whatever way you have given the input, in that way only you will get the output. So this is the most important concept, which is prompt engineering. Okay. Now, why this is an important concept? If you understand this, you can use AI in much better than most people. Okay, so the AI depends completely on what you have asked for. If your question is unclear, you will get the answer also unclear. Okay, so for example, what can be the weak prompt? Tell me about AI. So this is a very weak prompt. Why? This is too broad, correct? The AI does not know what exactly you want from it, right? You have to give better prompt, detailed prompt, how much you want to know, right? So you can say explain AI in simple words. Now, you know, like now the AI understands the level, how much you want to understand, beginner level AI, like that. And the very strong prompt will be explain AI like I am a beginner with examples in 5 bullet points. So now it knows the scope, right? That you are a beginner, you want to understand AI with examples and only 5 bullet points. So this is a very strong prompt because now you are giving clear instructions, you have the target audience, and you know in which format it should give you the answer in, right? So the better you communicate with AI, the better results you get from it. So now you understood what generative AI is, how it works, and why prompts are so important. So this is just the beginning. In next videos, we'll go deeper into tools, prompt, and real world project. Alright. So I think that is it in this video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.